and a very special guest here, a guy that we spoke with on the phone a couple weeks ago on the show, and that is Matisyahu. Aloha and mahalo, my brother. Thank you so much for taking a little bit more time for me.
Of course.
When we talked the other day, it was I wasn't able to get into some of the more obvious things that go along with what make you a special artist. And I'm curious, at what point Judaism began to factor into your music? We talked about the fish being an important thing. We talked about Bob Marley. I'm just curious where the Judaism also connected to music.
Well, I started searching out Judaism when I was in my early 20s. I was in New York, going to school, working, and trying to play some music, but things were not going, so strong. I was, playing open mic nights, that kind of thing. And then I started searching out Judaism, and the synagogue that I really got into was a very musical place called the Carlebach Shul, and he wrote, Shlomo had passed away, but he had written a lot of beautiful melodies for the tunes, very simple and beautiful, and the singing was a big part of that service. So I started going there and really enjoying it. And that's where it all sort of started for me.
Can you speak and write Hebrew fluently?
I prayed Hebrew, so I read the biblical Hebrew, but I don't really speak fluent Hebrew, though.
When you first played Israel, what was the response like, and also what were some of maybe your expectations about going there to gig?
Well, playing in Israel was always important for me. I try not to have too many expectations in general, but it was always a big deal, and we play there every year. We do a big show there, and it's great.
And is there a particular difference at all in the reaction that you get from folks there, or does it mean anything different to you?
I wouldn't say that. I would say it's. I would say wherever we play, we try to honor the people where we're playing, and we try to just take it as it comes. Whatever the vibe is, wherever we are.
So no difference there. And obviously in the last several weeks, Matisyahu, there's been an increasing, I guess you could say, public perception relating to Israel in the United States. And Benjamin Netanyahu recently coming and talking in the United States to Congress, something that doesn't happen very often. Foreign leaders don't often have that privilege, that honor, whatever you want to think of it as. And of course, Obama speaking just before that. What do you see as someone who has a gift for connecting with young people around the world? What do you see as perhaps a way to make peace with the Palestinians? Do you have any thoughts on that maybe are unique to your position?
Well, I think the main thing is education, knowledge. There's a lot of myths out there, you know what I mean? But real facts and knowledge about the situation will make things much clearer for everybody, and so that's education, and then obviously the where I come from is a musical world, and I think music is able to sort of redirect people a little bit.
Peacemakers sometimes?
Yeah, I think music gets people to see more, sometimes the bigger perspective, the more human perspective.
You say myths. What's a myth that people say? Just pick one myth that's out there.
I just mean myths about the whole situation, about everything that's going on. There's a lot of them. I don't know if I want to pick one right now.
Well, I'll pick one for you. Settlements. What do you think about settlements?
I've been to quite a few of them, and I think they're very special places. Very, very beautiful people there, and people that are willing to die for the country.
Do you think Israel should be required to remove all the settlements in the West Bank?
No, definitely not.
Do you think they should give back the Golan Heights?
Oh, definitely not. That's unquestionable. I mean, Golan Heights is a military base. It's the highest point on the northern border with an Arab country that has said time and again wants them wiped off the map. I mean, they won that in a military battle when they were attacked on all sides by every Arab nation that surrounds them. So, I mean, the idea of giving something like that back is completely ridiculous. It just makes absolutely no sense from a safety of the people of Israel's perspective.
Sure, I can understand that. It was actually right around this date, back in '67, that the war was raging.
Yeah.
Started on the 4th, as I recall. When you think of Benjamin Netanyahu, is that someone that you believe in what he's doing? Is he a guy that you support?
Truth is, I don't really have full support for any politician. I don't really necessarily, my views don't really necessarily agree with everybody. So I don't really know too much even about Benjamin Netanyahu and his stance on everything.
You never met him?
No.
Who's the most senior Israeli diplomat you've gotten the chance to meet in your travels?
I haven't really met that many. I haven't really focused on that.
And have you been able to, do you think, make a big difference in people's lives musically and in a way of teaching tolerance at all? There seems to be such a need for tolerance.
Yeah, I mean, for example, I've had shows where I've had girls, Muslim girls, in full head wrap, fully religious, singing along to lyrics in my songs. And I think music, again, has that ability to change people's perspective, to make people realize that we're all here together. So, that's part of the responsibility and the wonderful privilege that I get to do in terms of creating music and making meaningful music for people.
Your responsibility, that's the word that was in my head. Do you feel there is an extra responsibility because you're using the Judaism in some way as a vehicle to express yourself?
Yeah, I mean, using Judaism and using music, both of those things are very holy in and of themselves, But yeah, using them together is, tapping into some powerful tools, and I do feel a responsibility to sort of to be real with it.
And I'm thinking also on that note to be sort of like you're an ambassador. There are a lot of people who don't know these issues. There are a lot of people who maybe are even prejudiced against Jewish people, and you can be a catalyst. Maybe you are a catalyst for helping to teach tolerance.
Yeah, I mean, wherever I go, I try and tend not to focus on anything negative. I try to just create good music, positive music, meaningful lyrics, and connect with people, whoever they are, and honor the music, the people, and my faith and my tradition. So that's the name of the game for me.
Ziggy Marley, have you spent time talking with him?
Not much, no.
His wife is from Israel.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's right.
It just seemed like a guy that you would have some sort of bond or connection with. As we wrap it up with you, do you ever feel compelled that your live performance or your career in general is like a courier for your thoughts on moral issues? And if you will, where do you see your place in music? Do you see it as more of an entertainer, or do you see yourself in this politicized way?
I wouldn't really say either of those. I wouldn't say entertainment or politics. I would say, I would say I'm coming from a spiritual perspective. I'm trying to use music as a transportation vehicle for people to tap into deeper aspects of themselves in this world and connect with God. And so my take on it is pretty much spiritual.
So, wow. So that you don't really, as much as, and you realize the entertainment value it has for these thousands of kids.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's obvious, but it's just not the perspective that I take when I look at it.
Is there music that you're listening to these days that's important to you?
Honestly, I'm not. I haven't been listening to much music, I would say, for the last several months.
Nothing at all?
No, nothing.
When was the last time you saw the Fish guys?
I saw Fish. The last show was, I know it was at New Year's. I think that was in Miami, or was that in New York?
It was New York this year.
Yeah, I was at that show.
Were you?
Yeah.
We were there too. We almost ran into Matisyahu. He was next to us, and he was getting a Coke. We were getting the course light. And as a final thought, your impressions of Hawaii on this trip. Anything new, anything jump out at you? Your feelings here about the way you're embraced?
It's such a cool place. It's just the vibe here. It's very relaxed. It's very natural. Everything flows. You see that with the music. You can see how the music tonight was flowing and just very natural. And that's a reflection of the vibe here. So it was cool.
You get a good vibe from us.
Oh, yeah.
We really appreciate it, and you do a fascinating mix of stuff, and I hope you don't mind me prying into all the things that have to do with Israel right now. It's so timely, and I'm a strong supporter of Israel myself, and don't believe in returning to the 67 borders or anything like that. But just wanted to hear what you had to say, because as much as I'm sure you don't want the burden of having to be who you are by way of your bit or your shtick or however you want to think of it.
I don't mind talking about it when someone asks me. I mean, it's not the first thing I'm going to choose to talk about, but I mean, I'm totally open to talking about it, and I totally respect that you asked about it. It's totally cool.
And I preface that by saying, when we were on the phone doing our phoner, we didn't get a whole lot of time, and so because we were just getting to that and I wasn't able to do it, I just wanted to explain why we sort of dug a little deeper into it.
That's cool, man.
Well, cool. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.